So I'm curious, looking back on the last 4 fights, yourself included, which of those 4 performances was the most surprising, do you think?
These were all, great fights. I guess I'd have to say Adam Boric stood out pretty well. He handled a 2-time former champ. He passed that test with flying colors. That's the words I'm looking for. And he looked fantastic. Obviously, that flying knee isn't, just something that he can pull out of his butt against anybody. We've seen him do it multiple times, and we've seen him finish people multiple times with it as well, too. So I think Adam Boric is one to look out for, and that's a performance that stood out to me. But likewise with Derek Campos, he absolutely dominated Daniel Strauss. It was a pretty great performance. I was watching that all in the back. And Pedro Carvalho looked good as well, too, against Sam Cecilia. So all these guys look great. And I'd have to pick Adam Boric, though, who I believe stood out more so than Carvalho and then Campos. But all great performances.
And is there a particular fight this time that you're looking forward to more than the others?
I would look forward to it more because I haven't faced, if it's someone that I haven't faced yet, but also if it's against someone who I was matched up with and that fight didn't go through because I got injured. I think everyone knows who that is, so that would be an interesting one. Or if it's against someone who I've lost to, and there's only 2 men fighting this weekend that I've lost to, both being very close decisions. One still being the current champion, the other trying to work his way back in. So out of all these guys, though, if there was one I'd like to get back, it would be most definitely the German.
That's surprising because I think a lot of people were thinking that this tournament was sort of geared almost to get you back with a rematch with Pitbull. So is that not something that's really on the top of your list?
That one is as well, too. I'm excited to see how him and Archuleta play out. But if I had to pick over the title or Weichel, of course, I'm picking the title. But if the title option is not there, then that's my second option is Daniel Weichel.
So Pitbull recently said that he's the greatest featherweight of all time over Jose Aldo even. What do you think about that?
It's very difficult to say that. There's so many great fighters in the world, and especially now in the lighter weight classes. I do believe he is one of the GOATs. I wouldn't say he is the absolute best GOAT, but he most definitely is one of the GOATs. I'll give the man respect where respect is due. He's paid his dues. He's won many different tournaments. He's been on top for a long time. He's a great fighter. He's never been stopped other than a leg break. He's had tough fights, and he's been able to come back from them as well, too. So the man is most definitely a legend. But there's so many top fighters out there, top great fighters, especially in the lighter weight classes. Since 45 and down really started to blow up. I wouldn't say he's the GOAT of all GOATs, but he's most definitely one of the GOATs.
And I want to get your prediction for who you think is going to win each of the 4. So let's start with Patricio and Archuleta. Who do you think is going to take that?
I'm glad you asked me this because if it's right off the top of my head, I'm not even going to give an explanation, but I'll pick right off the top of my head, and I'm going to go with Pitbull.
Okay. And McKee and Canyon.
I'll explain that one a little bit. Mine says McKee, heart says Georgie, but I'll go with McKee.
Why?
He's a smart young kid. He's growing. He's learning. He's evolved. He's coming off a win over a former champ in Pat Curran as well, too. And even though that fight was so boring, I wanted to go and grab a beer and not even drink beer. But, he got his hand raised, so I'll give him that.
And Caldwell and Corrales?
That is a really tough one, like a real nail-biter one that's like, oh, man, that's such a tough one to pick. But I'm going to have to go with my Mexican brother, Henry Corrales. We're also birthday brothers. We share the same birthday. So I'll go with Henry Corrales on that one.
And Weichel and Rogers?
Weichel, and I want him to win because I hope I get him again.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.